leira e ao wana kia whera tonu tātou I tēnei take e pāna ki ngā whenua Maori. A neira a Miriama rawa ko tana manuhiri no te manatu ahumahi.
I think, Scotty. A new report commissioned by the Ministry for Primary Industries has shown the potential held in more than 1 million hectares of Maori freehold land could be worth $8 billion. Well, joining me now in studio is the Deputy Director General for Maori Primary Sector Partnerships for the Ministry, Ben Dalton. Thanks for joining us this morning. $8 billion is an impressive figure, but what's the vision? How would this work?
Well, first of all, I should clarify what the study outlined. It made some basic assumptions that there was 900,000 hectares of Māori land suitable for conversion or utilisation for beef and lamb production and 60,000 hectares for dairy. The report doesn't recommend you use that for that particular, that means of production, but it just takes a look at if you were to do that, the best case scenario is $8 billion in increased output over 10 years and $3 billion additional GDP to the country across that time
So what
period.
would that mean in real terms? We're talking about job creation and...
Again, based on the assumptions in the report, it estimated that you'd get the creation of an additional 3,300 jobs, on-farm jobs.
Why would Māori landowners trust this report? I mean, because of course there will be some suspicion of this, and we posed the question at the very beginning of the program, this could be another land grab.
First of all, we're not recommending that people convert their land to that means of production. What the real value in the report is indicating the untapped potential in Māori land. So what the real issue here is for Māori to be able to identify what is the best usage of their land, whether that's, as some of the earlier articles outlined, that land may have a higher value being left in for environmental reasons, then if Māori can have access to the best information to be able to decide what is the best use for their land.
So this is really about saying, here are some options, just options for you to consider for the best use of your land.
That's correct.
So is one of those options just, hey, sit on it?
You've got two types, the report deals with two types of land. One is land that is already in production, and there are some really great examples of Māori agricultural entities leading in their particular sectors like miraka, and then there's also a lot of Māori land that is not incorporated or not being managed in any effective manner. And so really the harder effort is to how do you get the land that isn't being utilised, how do you get those owners to have access to the appropriate information to be able to make decisions around what they could or couldn't do with that land.
Beyond that, you have the problems of this land is so often owned by multiple owners, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you make that process easier?
Currently, the Associate Minister of Māori Affairs, Minister Finlayson, and supported by Minister Sharples, are doing a review of the Māori land legislation with the primary goal of being able to make it easier for the owners to make decisions.
Because it's been, I mean, this is not a new discussion that we're having, and this is the problem that comes up all the time, isn't it? Trying to find ways to get consensus among multiple owners. And I guess what everyone wants to know at the end of the day is what is the benefit to me?
The benefit at the moment, a lot of that land that is not being utilised, and I noticed this week an iwi leader from the north said that by default much of Māori land is part of the conservation estate, and perhaps we want to leave it that way. I think that if that's what the owners want to do, then they should be allowed to do that, but they should only make that decision after they've had access to all the information that allows them to decide what other options there are. And I tend to believe that a large amount of that land is only in default conservation estate because the owners can't think of what else to do with it.
So this is a way of providing a plan and a way forward. Okay, thank you for your time, Ben Dalton.